Unfortunately, I've come across this situation, which is very upsetting. As a mother, as a single parent, pretty much a law-abiding person, and have taught all our children to be law-abiding citizens. It's been a tough journey bringing up my children single-handedly. I have been full-time working, showing my children that's the way forward, and that's how you are going to build your futures. I guess I've tried my best. And being a tutor, 17 years onwards, I just feel very much a hole in my heart at the moment, as I thought I was just a normal family. And suddenly, it's like an earthquake just hitting you, and you fall into a dark hole. You think, how on earth have I got into this? How did I get to this stage? And how is it that everybody is pointing fingers at me? Feel you're in such a dark hole, and it doesn't matter how much you try to crawl out of it. It's hard, and it's very difficult because you don't have that hand that will reach out to you to lift you out of that dark hole. And again, there's times where I still pray. It's okay. Don't take your time. I think prayers just help me because it's like a knife through your heart and ripping your heart open. Getting through each moment. It's like I've lost a child. And fingers will always be pointed out. So what was the mother doing? Where was she looking? Why did she not keep an eye on the children? You know, it's the parents. I feel like my child has been kidnapped. I can't put right what's gone wrong. And you just have to live with that hole in your heart and that emptiness. And you could just die every day, and then you have to stand up and then live for the rest of your children. Yeah, it's hard. Because inside you're dying every moment. But then you have to look at your other children and you think, I must have done something right for the rest of my children. It's tough being a single parent and trying to be the hero on the outside. Yeah, you could die on the inside. You could die on the inside and you can walk with a knife in your heart that no one will see. Quite a few times, I've kind of driven past a few buildings, and then I've kind of looked at one of the buildings, and I thought, that one's not tall enough. And then I've gone to the next one thinking, that one's actually quite tall enough, because if I jump off that, I will certainly die. I've had those moments. And then suddenly the rest of my children had to stop me going through that. Many a days I would look, which is the tallest building here? Because I need the tallest one to jump off. Do I want to live in this world anymore? Do I want to wake up? How's this dark hole? How am I going to crawl out of this dark hole? I heard about Himaya Haven through a very dear friend who works with children herself. She recommended Himaya Haven to me. I think she kind of saw me in a very, very deep mental state and recommended Himaya Haven to me. Being in the situation where my son is now in prison, I think I've never had to encounter such a situation. I've never had a family member encounter any of these situations that you have to go through, dealing with the police, the prosecution service and the courts and everything that comes along with it. I've never actually had any family member or even a distant family member come to that side of the law, in which case, I never had any experience as such. So I think for myself, this was basically an earthquake for myself. And I think with Himaya Haven, the mental side of things that I didn't know who to turn to. So I think with Himaya Haven, again, the counselling to mental support and how to deal with things made me approach Himaya Haven. So anytime I felt like I was having a mental breakdown, I could easily pick up the phone and ask to speak to someone, and they kind of talked me through things. Mentally being supportive towards myself. Had I not known about Himaya Haven, I wouldn't have known where to turn to be honest. Nobody would ever tell you who to contact, where there are services. It's once your son is taken, they're taken. Nobody is there to help you pick up the pieces. You are left literally alone. And I felt like kind of like a lost, headless chicken, really. Not knowing which way to turn, because nobody will tell you and nobody would advise you, turn to this side or that side. And so, through a friend, thankfully, I heard about Himaya Haven, and through them, I've had all this support and services. It is unfortunate that when these things do happen, that nobody will actually approach you, and nobody will actually say, this service is available for you. Yes, the police have taken my son, but again, they'll just close the door if it's still standing, and leave. Nobody would actually say to you, well, here's a leaflet. If you need support, contact so-and-so. We're just left to deal with everything on our own. And so, through a friend, I've heard about Himaya Haven, and thankfully, I've had a lot of support from them. I have absolutely no idea of what to expect, what's going to happen, what the procedures are, how the prison services work, whether I could see my son, whether I couldn't see him, what the terms and conditions, and the effects of me and the rest of my children. My other 3 children needed me as support. I can't support them when I'm going through a mental breakdown. And so, again, with other family members, no one has actually been in through the situation to advise me, to counsel me. So I think with Himaya Haven, that support of mentally keeping me on my feet, I would say. Otherwise, I think I would have mentally broken down. Not having that support, not having that counselling, not having somebody to talk to. They actually supported me and told me, this is how the services work. This is what, you are able to do, how to see your son. I had no knowledge of the fact that I could actually video call my son too. So they helped me set up an app where I could be supportive. I could email him and he could email me back. I could video call him. So all these services I didn't know that were available to me. Himaya Haven, put me through to all these services. And I think it's kind of helped me to get through where I am today. Supporting me so I could actually support my other children. It's a lot of things combined that actually keep me stable mentally, because I would never have known who to turn to as to ask for help. I can't go to the police station and say, how do I get in touch with my son? Because they are emergency services. They're not there to help me get in touch with my son who was in prison. And so all these services about me getting in contact with him, even via video, it's that little bit, drop by drop, helps keep the people that are left behind to deal with things, families, it keeps them standing up and supporting them. So had it not been for Himaya Haven, I wouldn't have known anything of how to go about it or whether these services would be available.